Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to a bit of a weird video. It's even weird for me too, because this is the first time I've done post commentary in quite some time. I can't say for sure if it's been years, but it might have been years actually. But I'll be honest, this is another edition of the TGC Anniversary series here for 2025, and to be honest, I just didn't really know what I wanted to do for today. I didn't have anything prepared for today, and I just didn't really feel like recording anything. So, even though at the time of recording this today, it's pretty late, I decided to just sit down and do a quick back-to-back playthrough of Astrobot's Great Master Challenge from the main game and Megamix Mastery from the Vicious Void DLC levels. Just to, I don't know, get like another playthrough under my belt for something I want to do later for content, but as well, just because I think it'd be interesting and cool to do a back-to-back playthrough. Could I have heard some dissenting opinion on what level is harder? I've seen quite a few people say Great Master's still harder than Megamix, but I and many others also believe that Megamix is harder than this. So this is my first playthrough still on the Great Master Challenge here that you're seeing now. I got to the end pretty easily, get through X here, and then, funny enough, I think that's probably the first time I've ever overshot that trampoline at the end there. I don't think I ever did in my initial playthroughs, funny enough. And I can't confirm, I did die a couple more times on the Great Master Challenge, and I died once on Megamix Mastery. But even still, I do think... Well, number one, I think Megamix was definitely more... obviously, it came out more recently, so it was definitely in my mind a little bit more. But as well as that, I do still think Megamix is harder, even despite the back-to-back playthroughs here today. You know what I mean? I just think things are a little trickier, especially adding in the power-ups, the gadgets, you know? Whereas Great Master Challenge is meant to be like, this is a platforming challenge through and through. None of the extra things, none of that. You know, and I do like that about it. I like that you don't have to worry about anything extra for it. And that's also a rare death. I think I did die to that at least once before I beat the level the first time, but that slime monster there, it felt so weird to get killed by it, you know? Like, that felt pretty weird. But yeah, I do think Megamix is the harder one. Like, having to quickly switch between 3 different power-ups, as well as that, I think also just it not being, or it being DLC, meaning that it can actually, if they wanted to, be as hard as they want, really. Because downloadable content is always going to have less players anyway. So if you wanted to have something that was a bit more challenging, DLC would typically be a better place for it than the main game. At least you would think, right? At least it makes sense in my head, you know. But I don't know. I think just the way they designed the platforming, as well as needing to switch between 3 different power-ups, all of which, mind you, were none of the power-ups used in the other Vicious Void levels. So you had to be even more familiar with, or you had to very quickly refamiliarize yourself with those again. I think everything just leans to Megamix being a harder level, personally. Because, like, at the end of the day, there was nothing in the Great Master Challenge that we hadn't seen before, you know what I mean? Like, this is all kind of like, the Great Master Challenge is quite literally all of the Lost Void levels put together. I mean, not all of them put together, but it's some of the toughest moments from all the Lost Void levels put together. You know, like, everything we... Or, I guess maybe that's not even entirely true, right? But everything felt like... But you know what I mean. Like, everything in the Great Master Challenge we had seen before. And I guess technically... Well, no, I was going to say technically that's true for Megamix, but that's also not true. It's not true for Megamix at all. Right? Like, the bit with the rotating block that leaves an electric path behind it, we hadn't seen before. At the end. Now, admittedly, that has a very easy skip that anyone can do, and you'll see it in my playthrough here. And I didn't do this when I beat the level the first time, but this is actually only my second time I finished the level for Megamix. Whereas I had replayed Great Master before, but it had been quite a while. I think since the start of the year, and I'm recording this in July, if that gives a time frame, right? But I don't know, I lost my train of thought there. The skip, like I said, at the end with the electric cube block thing is easy. It's super easy. Anyone can do it. You know. All you literally have to do is when you jump up to that final platform, just run straight forward, and the block will always first rotate its handle towards you. So then you can literally just grab it with square and then use the rocket, the chicken power up, to propel yourself upwards and take it out. Which obviously you're not going to know that on the first playthrough, but once you learn, it's like, okay, that's actually really easy to avoid. And part of me feels like that would be intentional. Like a little nod from the devs, be like, hey, you know, if you see this, you can take it out easily. Because, like, that feels like such an... That would feel like such a big oversight, you know what I mean? But maybe they missed it. That's possible. But yeah, I did pretty well here. Like I said, I only died once, and I think that's primarily because of how recent the level is and how long it took me to beat it in the first place. Because if you've seen the video on the channel, I do say in that video that it took me an hour, and I do have the raw footage, not the raw footage, but a longer version that's basically unedited for the level. So I guess, yeah, closer to raw footage. But I don't know, oh no, sorry, I didn't finish my thought. But yeah, I actually want to put that out because I think it's great, and I have what I think is a really funny title for that video if I do put out the whole thing. But yeah, it took me an hour to beat Megamix the first time, which is the longest it took any level for me, of, like, any level in the game, period. Because before then, the levels that took the longest were a tie between the Great Master Challenge, To the Beat, and Splashing Sprint. Each one of those took me 30 minutes, or about 30 minutes. Whereas, yeah, that was just all, you know, an hour of non-stop tries for Megamix. But I got it done, regardless. And with that being said, I do want to know, like, what do you guys find harder? Do you find the Great Master Challenge harder, or Megamix? Or maybe a different Lost Void level? Let me know, because I do think, actually, I think Splashing Sprint is still the hardest one. But yeah, regardless. What do you find harder? Let me know. And this was another edition of the TGC Anniversary, and I hope to see you tomorrow. Bye, guys.